Hi there, it's Sam from pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. Today's project is how to cover a notebook, but it's actually the mechanics of how you measure to cover a notebook. So I've got three here. This is one of the ones that I send out to my lovely customers who come shopping with me. I send all sorts of different things out to them. And this is one of the notebooks I've sent out recently. This one is one of the notebooks that I've sent out to my new team recently. And I only make any of my notebooks in little batches, so they're kind of exclusive, I suppose. So this is a long thin one. This is a handy jotter, and this one is an A5 notebook, and I gave these out to my team who came with me to convention, and then I had a couple of spares that I gave out as gifts as well, and this is one that I kept for me, and this is what I write all of my notes in when I'm doing my boxes and what have you, and then I work off this when I'm filming. But the principle of how you measure to make any kind of size notebook is actually the same. So I'm going to make a completely different size. I'm going to cover one that is this size today. And I'm going to go step by step how to measure for it. Now, I'm working with metric grid paper in front of me. It doesn't really make a difference whether you're working in metric or imperial. What you need to do is measure this part, then this part, and then allow an overlap here. So that's what you want to do. So the first thing you want to do, and I'm going to move my grid paper up so you can see it. You can see my messy desk. Look, this is Tombow with glitter stuck into it. So what you need to do is you need to measure the width of your notebook. That's the first thing. So from left to right, whether it's imperial or metric, it doesn't make a difference. And I can see my notebook is 10.2 centimetres. So I'm going to scribble that on here. So it's 10.2 centimetres left to right. So again, this isn't about you copying my measurements to cover your notebook, it's about how to do it. So this is my left to right measurement. My top to bottom, that measurement is 14.2 centimetres, so it's 14.2, but I actually want a little bit of a lip. If I bring this one in, hopefully you can see that I've got a tiny, if I turn it around that way, there you go. I've got a tiny little extra piece there, and that is so that you can open the book easily. That's why. So I'm going to add 3 centimetres to make this 14.3 cm going up. And so if you are working in imperial, you're going to want to add maybe 1/8 of an inch to whatever your measurement is from there to there. Add 1/8 of an inch as well. Then I need to measure this bit. So this part here, and I'm just literally going to hold it, and I can see it is 5 millimetres. Let me bring that round. Oh, let's try and get my hands out of the way. You can't see that. It's 1/2 centimetre. So I now need to add plus 0.5 centimetres. Okay? So you got that? 14.5 plus 1/2, and then I want to add a bit there, so I'm going to go with 3 centimetres that I'm going to add. So that's 14.5, 0.5 plus 3, which is 14.5 plus, so that's 15, 18 centimetres. So I need a piece of cardstock that is 18 centimetres that way and 10.2 that way. Got the principle? I'll do it with this one as well, just so you get the idea. Let me move that bit. So that, my notebook in this case would be, can you see that? 7.5 centimetres that way. And the length of it would be, I've lifted this up because obviously I've got the extra bit on, 20.5 plus 3 millimetres, 0.3. And then I've got a space there of 8 millimetres. So that's 0.8 centimetres. And then the bit I carried over to the back, 8.5. So we add all of that together, so that's 28, so it's 28, 29, 30.1 centimetres. I probably just cut it down to 30 centimetres. So to measure, to cover this one, you would have paper that's 30.1 by 7.5. So hopefully that makes sense. So what I'll do now is I will grab my cardstock, which is Melon Mambo today. Isn't that such a lush colour? Look at that, it took me 5 minutes just to explain how to measure. I'm sorry. So I determined it's 10.2 by 18 centimetres. So I'm going to cut this down by 10.2 and then my 18 centimetres. And what I need to do now is score at these points. So my first score line was 14.5. So that's 14.5 there. I need to add on half a centimetre, and that now, if I tip that, that will be the front, that will be the hingy part, and that will be the back. So fingers crossed this works, because I haven't done an A5 notebook in a long time. You fold and burnish these, and you definitely need to burnish them well for notebooks, because the last thing you want is a notebook with a bit that flaps up like that. It's just not good. And in theory, this should beautifully fit over the top. There you go. Fits absolutely perfectly at the top with that tiny little bit there. That is how you lift it up, and it's burnished so it's not springing up. So that's how you do it. Now, how do you decorate the front? That is kind of up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it a bit like a card. Let me bring these ones back in. So I'm going to have a backdrop. So knowing that my card is 10.2 centimetres, I'm going to take off half a centimetre, which leaves me with 9.7. I know that the length of it is 14.5, so I'm going to take off half a centimetre, which is 14. So I now need a piece of paper, DSP, which is 14 by 9.7 centimetres. And again, for the imperial folk among us, take off 1/4 inch off your original size. So what did I say? 9.7 by 14. So 9.7 by 14. And that's left me with a nice little border that's going to go all the way around there. Can you see? I've got this nice little, I suppose, 2.5mm edge, just a little whisper of an edge going around. But I want some more. Let's have some more. So I'm going to put a block across that bit, I think, just across there. So we know that this is measuring in at, this one's measuring at 9.7. So I want to take off another half a centimetre. So again, take off another 1/4 inch, or maybe 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch probably be okay. So I'm going to take this from 9.7 down to 9.2, and actually I'm going to make it a square. So I'm going to have it 9 by 2 by 9 by 2, and this will give me a square that's roughly that sort of shape. So a bit more of this. Oh look, I've got a perfect piece left over. So I'm going to take that down to 9.2 by 9.2. And you can see we're building up the layers now. Yeah, 9.2 by 9.2, and I've got a nice layer. Need to do it again because I want to put a white layer on top. So again, 9.2, and take off another half an inch, which would leave me with 8.7 by 8.7. So this is going to be my white layer. So I've got a piece of whisper white over here. So 8.7 by 8.7 leaves me with a final bit. And again, for imperial ladies, take off your 1/2 inch. Not your 1/2 inch at all, your 1/4 inch. And that will leave you with a border. So let me move that out of the way. And I don't know how I did that, but I've just whacked the trimmer into my forehead. Silly girl. Right, let's do some stamping. Okay, I have got everything Eleanor. I've only picked out 1/2 of it. The other half's on my shelf. I forgot to get it down. But I'm going to put that beautiful swirly whirly design onto here. So I've got my Melon Mambo ink. And I know that this stamp is in all likelihood going to be too big. So it's going to go off. That's okay. I don't mind. Where shall I position that? There will be lovely. That's gorgeous. Okay, so we'll have that. I've got some scrap Whisper White somewhere. A bit of that, because I want to put a sentiment on this one, and I have taken the A Dozen Thoughts, and I like Wish Big. And I'm going to stamp that there. So what I'm now going to do is cut these bits out, and then I can start sticking the whole lot together. So I've got my large oval punch in there, and let's try not to punch out from the card. Maybe for a piece. There we go. Scallop oval punch, some more melon mambo, and then I'm going to punch some flowers. How many flowers do I want? It's not a massive book, is it? I'll have 3. So petite petals, punch, 1, 2. Oh, that one's gone on the floor. Let's have another 3 of those, and let's start lifting everything up, and then I can build it all up, and you can see how it's all going to come together. So my 3 flowers there, back of your paper piercer, into the middle to squish them up. My rhinestones, which I forgot to get out. So we'll have the middle ones because I haven't got any big ones, and my spare stuff's over there. And I don't think you'd want me wandering off in the middle of the video to go and get another packet, so we'll pretend. Those there, and then I'm going to layer these parts up. That one on there, and then I want to put a little trio of crystals, so I'm going to pick the smaller ones, and I want them sort of off to one side. I don't want them... Do I want that there or there? Yes, I'll have that one there. I had not planned how this was going to look at all. Ooh, talk about a wing and a prayer. Okay, let's build some stuff up. So this one I'm going to put onto here, dimensionals. 4 of those. Which way round do I want it? I think I'll have it that way. Seriously, I didn't know what this was going to look like. I just knew I wanted to use these bits. And then I want this one on here, but I want this one to lay completely flat. So I'm going to use snail. Liquid glue would probably work, although it might warp the paper, which is just never pretty. So that part on there, and then this one is going to sit on the top. Which way round did I say I wanted to go? That way. Lift this lot up. Sticking myself to everything. And that's going to nest at the top quite prettily. Didn't get the Melon Mambo ribbon out. There we go. Melon Mambo, 1/8 of an inch taffeta ribbon. Just going to tie this off to one side. I'm going to try and tie it off to one side. I made a bow the other day in a video. I was so excited. I was very excited. I actually took a picture of it afterwards and put it on my Facebook page. That's how excited I was. It's not going to happen right now, though. No, my computer agrees it's not going to happen now. There we go. That's okay. You get the idea. Having the right scissors to hand probably would have helped. Okay, let's put the last few bits together. So my little sentiment, I'm going to have it down there, but I want to double layer this at the bottom. And that bottom part is there, so I put one dimensional on and then another over the top of it, because obviously I'm elevating it at this part, and then a single layer above it. And if I turn that to one side, you'll see what I mean. I've got all this elevation here, so I don't want it to be wibbly and all stuck up. There we go. And then my little flowers that are so pretty. Oh, can't pick that one up. There we go. No, not dimensionals. What are these? Mini glue dots. So I'll have one there. I'll have one up there. Where should we put the third one? Oh, there, why not? Just there. Right, and then the final bit, stick it on the notebook, which is now underneath everything. And I love to use liquid glue for this because sorry, I had to thump to the tripod. I find it easier to layer it, and the part that I helpfully didn't tell you which bit I was putting it on is the bit that's going to stick to the back. Don't put it on the hinge part. And you literally, hopefully you're seeing that. You line it up at the top, fold it over, stick it down, and then because we've got this little extra whisper of wibble room, I can position that perfectly. And that is one notebook covered with all my scribbly notes. So that's how I do my notebooks, and it's literally it's what I've shown you in 15 minutes is how you do the measurements of it. So it's not about copying this project and my measurements for this, unless you happen to find some notebooks that are this size. It's about learning how to measure up to cover a notebook. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon. And if you make notebooks, can you share some pictures, please? Bye.